Okay, guys, here we are, 10/15/21, dead center of October. Here in the mountains of Colorado, we got a little smattering of snow, not quite anything significant yet, but significant news in the world of crypto. So, this is Dr. Chef for Dr. Chef's Crypto, welcoming you to the partay. And as usual, let me start by saying this is not official financial advice. I'm not your official financial advisor. And just welcome. I'm having fun with this. If you want to like and subscribe and kind of spread this around your people, it'd be nice to, do this information for more than 10 or 15 people. But either way, I'm having fun and I'm going to do it. So let's get started. One of the things I definitely want to talk about right off the bat is a little bit of a lesson. Okay, I've got two purposes tonight. One is to talk about today's big news, which most people don't either know or understand. So I'm going to talk about that. But I want to also keep working on this clarification around the world of meme coins. So I think it might be very helpful for people if we look at a thing real quick called market cap. And I know some people know what that means and some people don't. So let's just scoot over to the market cap. I'll show you an example real quick. We'll go to here. Now, if you can see my little arrow moving around there, you see this? This is an analysis chart, and it shows the world of crypto when it comes to the idea of circulating supplies, market caps. Most people that look at crypto at all tend to look at this number here, which is the current price. They look at the red and green to see if it goes up and down. They may even go over here and they may pull some of these charts. But they may not understand the volume or the market cap concept. So let me just cover that. First of all, let me explain the numbers of people that we're talking about. So in America, only 10 to 15 people know anything at all about crypto, have anything to do with it. And the majority of those people are Bitcoin-only people. They're just dealing with Bitcoin. You've got less than 5% that understand other coins. So you've only got about 1 or 2% of the population that would ever look at charts like this or try to figure any of this stuff out. It's important to understand that if you're a little confused about this kind of stuff, that it's not unusual at all. Okay? That's the sort of normal state of affairs. Now, let's take a look and figure it out. And I'm just going to show you something. You see, let's take Dogecoin and Uniswap. You look at Dogecoin and Uniswap. I hold both of those, so I'm just picking random, okay? And you'll notice that Dogecoin's at 23 cents, give or take, and Uniswap's at $25, and that may or may not mean anything to you. When you look at the market cap, though, you'll notice that Uniswap has half the market cap. Look at that very carefully. You see how Dogecoin is 23 cents? It has a $31 billion market cap. You see that? And you see how Uniswap's $25, $26? But it's only a $15 billion market cap. You see that? That's important for you to understand. Okay? Let's take a look. Let's go up here and let's take a look at the biggest market cap that there is. You see this? This is the biggest market cap. Now we're at 62,000 right now. The highest Bitcoin has ever been is about 64. So we'll talk about that in a minute because we're at the top of a peak and you see barely over $1 trillion. Now this is huge. I don't mean to say barely over $1 trillion like that's not huge. That's insane. But you got to remember that trillion is about as high as a market cap has ever gone. Okay? The entire market cap for all of it, is $2.5 trillion right now. Okay? For all of it. And that's not that far away from things like gold and silver. I mean, that's good. It's good. But you need to remember how this math works. Okay? So go back down here to Dogecoin and Uniswap. You see? Look. The reason that Uniswap is $25 and $15 billion and Dogecoin is 23 cents and 31 billion. Are you looking at that? Okay. That's because market cap is calculated by a very simple mathematical equation. It is the number of coins in circulation times the value of the coins. It's a current running total that exists at all times. It's the number of coins in circulation multiplied times the price. So here you go. 23 cents, sure. But look, 131 billion coins in circulation. 131.7 billion Dogecoins in circulation. Multiplied times 23 cents equals $31 billion. You see this? 61 million, 611 million Uniswap in circulation at 25.98 equals $15 billion. You see, what that means is that there's a great deal of room to grow for Uniswap, right? So this is part of your calculation. It doesn't mean that that's automatically what you should invest in, although I would recommend it. First of all, let me back up. Don't invest in anything right now. Don't dump money in a market at a high. That's the opposite of what you're supposed to do. What you do is buy low, sell high. Now is when you would be selling something, not when you would be buying something. Just wait a few months. 2022 is going to be a crash. You'll be able to buy everything at rock bottom prices. But you have to be patient and wait. Okay? So this is how you do the math. How much could Uniswap grow? Okay? Well, if we're at 15 billion, and it could theoretically go to $1 trillion, it probably won't, but let's say it could. Let's say it went to $500 billion. $500 billion will be 500 billion. Okay? 500 billion from 15 billion. Maybe Uniswap can 50x over time. We don't look for more than 100x out of Uniswap because that would be more than $1.5 trillion market cap. You understand what I'm saying? So in other words, if Dogecoin reached $1, it would be 80 cents, or it would be times 4. Times 4 would be 31 times 4, and that would be $125 billion. So can Dogecoin reach $1? Absolutely. That's within limits. Dogecoin at $1 is definitely a possibility. Dogecoin at $10, however, would mean that you would have to multiply times 50, which would put you over $1 trillion again. So what you need to do to figure out if there's space for your coin to grow, if it's undervalued, if it could grow, take $1 trillion, or if you want to be conservative and logical, $500 billion. Subtract the current market cap, figure out what the difference is, and that's the possibility of growth. If it's a major project, if it takes over hugely, it's possible. But this is what makes the concept of our favorite friend over here. Where's our favorite friend? I'm looking for my computer's acting up. What I'm looking for is the stock of the day, the coin of the last week, Shiba Inu. See? 0.000249. This is crazy. And this is why everybody buys it, because it's so cheap. Look at the market cap. $9 billion. You got a $9 billion, almost $10 billion market cap, right? Look at that. That is why. You see this madness right here? I need to blow that up to gigantic proportions. You see it? That right there says that there's 394 trillion Shiba Inu in circulation. 394 trillion. See, 100,000, million, billion, trillion. That's insane. You understand? You understand? Look at Matic, which is one of the biggest performers on the market at an astounding, 6 billion. You see what I'm saying? XLM, this is a huge product everybody loves, right? 24, this is 24 billion. This is 394 trillion. Okay? So now, what does that mean to your math? It means that if you want to go to Doge at 0.002, that's a 10x. And that 10x equals 30 billion. Doable. You want to go to 0.002, that's 100x. 100x puts you at 300 billion. Also doable. 300 billion is not that crazy. That's also doable. I mean, it's crazy, but it's not that crazy. But 0.02, 2 cents. A 2 cent is 1,000x. That now would put you at 3 trillion. 1 billion would be about a trillion and a half for 1 cent Shiba Inu. Will Shiba Inu ever see a penny? Very, very unlikely. Is it possible? Yes. Yeah, I mean, a trillion and a half, it's hard, but it's possible. If they burn half of it, like they've done before, sure, then we definitely could do it. Because what would happen is the circulating volume would decrease by half. That means that we would fold half of the, market cap up. That means we'd have all of that space to grow. So perhaps the Shiba Inu creators are smart enough to have another half of it waiting in the wings to burn. If they pull that off at the right time, then we can have a penny Shiba Inu. And I would be doing pretty well, right? But that's how market cap works. So just remember how market cap works. Market cap is a very simple calculation. It's the number of coins in circulation times the value of the coins. That number is almost never, ever, ever going to break a trillion, and usually won't break half a trillion. If you plan on half a trillion as your major high on most of these coins that are major player coins, not like total BS, okay? But hey, meme coins exist and they cause this issue. So a penny for a SHIB as we look now, very unlikely. However, 1,000x from here is doable. So that's all. 1,000x from here, it's hard. I mean, that's real hard. But 100x, okay, 100x from here would be 300 billion market cap. 300 billion market cap. So if I was going to make a prediction, like I said, I'm not making predictions, okay? But if I was going to make a prediction, what I would say is I'm definitely betting on 100x SHIB for sure. Act accordingly. You do you. You seek your own knowledge. But $300 billion market cap for Shiba Inu in the next few years, I feel like that's very possible. I would go so far as to say 200x is within range. It's not easy. It's not likely, but 100x, I think so. 10x for sure. Like I'm guaranteeing myself, 10, 20x minimum, right, for SHIB. But I would love to see, I'd love to see a couple 100x out of the thing. So that's the update on SHIB, and that's how market cap works. But let's change directions. Let's go and talk about today's news, because this is a really big deal and most people don't understand it. So let's just go ahead and take a look at this. All right, so this is SEC approves Bitcoin ETF, opening crypto to wider investor base. What does that mean? What do we need to know? What are these terms? I was saying to my wife earlier, just to mess with her, because she doesn't like this stuff or care about this stuff very much. And I said, hey, the SEC just approved a BTC ETF. And she said, like, that's literally an alien language. SEC approves a BTC ETF. What does that even mean? Okay, let me explain in real quick, easy terms. First of all, the SEC, Security Exchange Commission. These are the guys that control the stock market. They control how companies work, how they go to market, what can be traded, how trading works. If a company goes public, if a company's trading stock, they're in charge. They are a big sort of an oversight division, and it's a really big deal. One of the biggest, most powerful things in the finance world. Okay? That's what the SEC is. Bitcoin being the number one coin in existence by far. That's why I usually set that $1 trillion maximum price for almost anything ever, even going forward, because Bitcoin is such a big deal. You can't deny it is the original coin. It is the OG of all OGs. It is the leader. It's worth the most, etc., etc., etc. So that's the point. Even if we don't like it, even if we want to be Ethereum or Cardano or Solana, even if we want all those things to win, even if we're very serious coin heads, the point is that Bitcoin leads the way. The reason that all the other coins, a lot of the other coins are doing so well right now, like Ethereum is doing great. The reason a lot of these coins are doing great right now is because Bitcoin. They follow Bitcoin. So you have to pay attention. I would have some Bitcoin for sure. I have a little. I had to trade some in for some other stuff I was working on. I'll get more. I love Bitcoin. What is an ETF? Because an ETF is a very strange concept, right? What does it mean? And if we go back to this, you can see. So, an ETF, if we take a look at this, this is about blockchain ETFs letting investors expose their portfolios. Let me explain what that means. This is about the ETFs fighting it out to see who would be in charge. Okay, we'll talk about all this in a minute. But this is the main article, and this gentleman right here, in case you don't know, is Gary Gensler. This is the head of the SEC, the chair of the SEC. And you can see in the article that they're talking about, after years of trial and error, cryptocurrency is finally going to have an EFT, and it's going to be called ProShares. So pay attention, because ProShares is the company that won. Okay, so what is an EFT? It's a trading fund, right? So what does that mean? If you look at something like this commentary here by EFT Store President Nate Geraci, you can see that this is being considered a major step forward. What this is a market-based trading fund that allows people that don't necessarily want to go through the process of buying stuff themselves, right? So right now, the way that you have to do this, okay, right now the way you have to do this is you have to go and buy the coins, right? You have to go and actually get a coin yourself. You can't just like have somebody do it for you. Now, sometimes, of course, people do that. They figure out ways around that. But what we're talking about is what's called an exchange traded fund. So think of that. Think of that like you would think of a mutual fund. Okay. So the way this works, let me get back over here. The way these funds work, and there's thousands of them, okay? The way they work is a group of people that is a company that does a fund, organizes things that are invested in and things that are part of the fund. Now, this hasn't really been truly legal for a Bitcoin-based or crypto-based fund until today, okay? The reason that is such a big deal is that right now, if a guy on a Wall Street or a businessman or an owner of a business or someone running the retirement fund for IBM or whatever, if these people wanted to go and get cryptocurrency, they had to go and get it themselves. Just like you and I, they had to go to exchanges and get wallets and go through the process of getting a cryptocurrency. If they don't think cryptocurrency is that safe, if they think it is something unusual or weird or perhaps dangerous, they don't do that. And that is the vast majority of investors. They consider crypto to be a little weird. Okay. However, if crypto was an SEC monitored, in other words, like a stock exchange, like an actual thing that they are familiar with, if it was a exchange traded item related to the SEC, related to the stock exchange, then it could be included with other exchange traded items and other types of stocks, and it could be combined into a portfolio that would now be an SEC approved legal portfolio. Now, what this means for us as people that study crypto or invest in crypto, it means that much more attention will be given to crypto. It means that many more of these companies would be developed and these funds will be allowed to exist. And it means that more than likely, a great number of people that would not have normally invested in crypto will. And that's huge. Because as you know, the value of a currency is based upon the number of people when it comes to crypto. The value of crypto is based upon the number of people buying it, the number of people holding it, the number of people utilizing it. So this brings us one step closer to mass adoption. It brings us one step closer to great numbers of people being invested in the crypto space that wouldn't normally be there. It makes it much easier for them to do it. And that means money flowing into the crypto space, being invested in crypto, and therefore prices going up and all of us making money. It's that simple. So this is very big. This is just the first one. It's called Pro Shares. So pay attention. Look for Pro Shares. It's called Pro Shares. It's the first approved one, which is interesting because all the leaders that people thought were going to win did not win. So let's go back and look at this again. If you go back and look at these articles, you'll notice that it tells you the stuff I just said. It's an encouraging sign. It's been a long time coming. It opens it up to more people. If you go over here and you see the battle that was happening, you'll notice that, for instance, some people like Grayscale, which is a huge Bitcoin trust, they were trying to find ways around this, right? So look at what Garachi said. Once the SEC does approve a Bitcoin ETF, it's going to be no holds barred. You're going to have a cutthroat competition, fees for marketing, distribution, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be a segment of the ETF market we've ever seen. It's going to be one of the most competitive segments we've ever seen. This is great. This is super bullish for us. It means more and more people, more and more money, more and more fighting it out, and that means the price is going up. All these people had tried to figure it out, right? So Grayscale had tried to figure it out, and the twins that are famous for Facebook, the guys that fought it out with Facebook, Winklevoss, I think is what their names are, Winklevoss. They had filed and been turned down twice. So, I mean, this is just crazy. All these guys, and you can go study this. But what does it all mean? Well, what it means is that people are going to be able to get into this space that wouldn't normally get into this space. So, for instance, blockchain ETFs let investors expose their portfolio without actually buying any. Understand? So somebody could be in a portfolio, and the portfolio could have Bitcoin in it, but they're not actually personally owning Bitcoin. Okay? So they feel like if they don't personally own Bitcoin, that they are in less danger, right? Which makes it much more likely. So you can see, investors are curious about crypto but don't want to actually buy any. Blockchain is the middle ground. Okay, these ETFs are the middle ground. Okay, and of course this article contains what is a blockchain, right? Next Advisor is the name of this company. Because people don't get it. You got to remember how few people really understand what's going on. How to invest in blockchains. Of course, you don't invest in a blockchain technically. I mean, a couple of them are kind of like that. But anyway, you've got to understand how weird this is to most people. To us, this is normal. It all makes sense. For goodness sakes, what have I got? I've got like an Ethereum t-shirt on, right? I mean, for us, this is normal. I got, Cardano and Bitcoin and Ethereum on my walls, okay, in my office. We study this stuff all the time. We learn about this stuff. We have money in it. We care about it, right? But don't forget that 90% of America, that's not the case. And the majority of Americans don't really understand investing, period. And for those guys that didn't understand investing, most of them don't understand crypto. So you're talking about a very small percentage, and now it's going to be opened up to those people because they can, if there's a company, and I know that some of the big boys like, JP Morgan and stuff, some of the big boys have been talking about these funds. If they can get some of these to be up and running, they can be involved in it. Now, I need to make something really clear that's sort of edgy and weird, and this will be my last thing for my video tonight because I think I've been going on for a while. We don't want that for ourselves. Listen to what I'm saying. Crypto investors that study and understand and trade the market of crypto, we don't want someone else in control of the crypto. We don't want to be in a fund where random people are doing random things with our money. We're the kind of people, and I'm just speaking for me and most of the people that I know, but you can be you. Okay, I'm not mad at you. But we don't want to just give a bunch of money to that. This is why we don't want to do banks. This is why we don't want to do centralized finance. This is why we're fighting for all this new technology, blockchains and cryptocurrencies and DeFi. Because the plan is to be away from that. This is centralizing and controlling crypto. We want it to exist in the world because it'll bring billions and possibly trillions of more dollars into the space, which makes money for us. But I want control of my crypto. I want to own a Bitcoin. I want to have my private keys. I want to own it just like I own a chunk of gold or a dollar bill in my hand. I want to own it. I don't want other people telling me about it. So we don't necessarily want to be in these ETFs. I mean, I don't personally want to be in an ETF, but I need ETFs to exist. And this is super crazy bullish news. First of all, you can expect a bump in everything. Okay. Second of all, you can expect a change in macro patterns because of it. And third of all, even though we're going to be going up and down, obviously, you can expect a whole lot more money to flow into the space. Now, this is brand new. It's not fully activated yet, but it's coming. And that's where we're at. So that's the big news. I wanted to explain market caps and do a little basic training. Explain why we're never going to see a $100 Doge or a dollar Shiba Inu. Probably, obviously, weird crap happens. Okay, money shifts and things happen, but very unlikely based on market cap. And then I want to talk about this date news from today, from Gary Gensler and the boys at the SEC, coming out in a very proactive and bullish way to allow the very first Bitcoin EFT in America. It's the first time it's ever happened. So this is just good news, super bullish news going forward. And we are living the dream. All right, this is Dr. Chef. Please spread this to friends. Please like and share and all that stuff. And I appreciate you. I really do. Have a great night and a great weekend.